Today is a fun day of exploration. I have Joe on the boat with me. We're exploring some areas in Vero Beach that neither of us have ever fished, and we're using the Smart Spots app to find some spots, and we're gonna go fish them. And the cool thing about the app, a new upgrade, is that we have what's called the AI game plan, where for the Smart Spots, you just tap on it and it gives the game plan on how to fish the spot, what lures to use, all that fun stuff. So we're gonna follow what it says to the T and see if we can get onto some action. But while we were out, we just launched. I found this boat ramp over here that's on Smart Spots, but I saw some wading birds, so we're gonna fish this point real quick on their way to spot number 1 and see if we can get on the board here before the sun starts getting up. So this is my very first cast in an area that neither of us had ever fished before, and this is why I recommend to always keep your eyes peeled, even if you have a game plan when you're going from one spot to the next, or even if you're going to your very first spot, is if you see signs of life, just go out there and just make a few casts, because that can oftentimes lead to some quick action. So in my first 30 seconds of fishing this area, we already had some strikes. Dude, I got one. Oh man, I think it's got off. So here's cast number 2, where the first fish of the day was caught, which is awesome. Always a great start. And as you can see with this this retrieve, I'm going pretty fast, right? Taking advantage of this twilight period where the fish are going to be more aggressive. And as I hoped, fish on. Oh, there we are. Oh, trout. Trout. So we're on the board.
Dolphin coming up behind us, man.
Oh, dolphin's coming? That's not good. Yeah, here's the lure. Yeah, solid trout. That's probably barely a keeper. And came up and smacked this mullet-colored skinny lipper XL. All right, well, that was a fun quick stop. Got at least some fish slime on the hands. Now we're gonna go south this bridge. All right, so we're approaching this this spot. Here's one of our Smart Spots, and it's looking good. So we're seeing this big point up here, and there's some birds. We see like a crane over there, or a heron. And then further over in this cove, we have some egrets, which is a really good sign. So we're now shallow. So we're gonna get some soft plastics rig shallow, and we're gonna go fish basically from there all the way down to this point. There's a bunch of birds on that point. I'll be surprised if we don't get into some nice fish. So time to go ahead and get in stealth mode. And we're gonna try various lures. The Smart Spots mentioned, like the Prawn Junior, the Tweaker, and a couple others. So we have those rigged up. At the end of the video, I'll go through all the equipment and exactly what worked and what didn't work. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up, and hopefully we'll have some bigger fish in the boat very soon. All right, so we're getting skinny now. So I'm switching to the Prawn Junior on an 1/8 ounce jig head. Starting to see some mullet. Just gotta look for some wakes. We'll keep moving till we spook something. Keep going as shallow as we can go. All right, there's a stingray. Good news of this backdrop, if there's something near the shoreline, we're gonna see it. So as you can see, we're constantly moving, making sure to cover water, keeping our eyes peeled for any signs of life, and just waiting to get a fish on the line or to actually see some fish. Okay, there's a fish. Don't move. Oh dang. So where did that fish go?
Dude, I just had a little.
It's a big trout was just cruising. Yeah, cast that direction.
Oh, I think the redfish just came up and didn't saw the boat.
Huh.
Followed me all the way up.
All right, so we just finally saw some fish. Now we're gonna slow down. And so just after 12 minutes of being in this spot, in this Smart Spot that we wanted to check out, Joe hooks the first fish of the spot. Oh, nice. Joe's on. And what are you throwing?
2.0.
Oh, that's a snook.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, at least it jumped.
Oh yeah. Doggone it.
Just came off?
Yeah.
That snook unfortunately got off, but pretty awesome is that in under 12 minutes, we already saw a redfish, a trout, and a snook in this Smart fishing spot. And on Joe's very next cast, another fish on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
God dang. You see that?
Yeah, that was a solid snook.
I watched him eat that one. That was cool.
All right, so snook by the trees.
Second one, yeah, cast right next to that structure.
All right, this is so shallow that I'm going to go switch to my favorite shallow calm water lure, walking slowly, and that is the Turd Ferguson Tweaker. So Polk County Tweaker, Turd Ferguson color.
What do you name?
This thing is my most trusted of all
All these mullet up here. I'm going straight up.
conditions like this.
So we continued fishing down the shoreline, and the next hookup was me, and this was on this lure that I just switched to, and it was at this point that we're looking at. My GoPro was off, but fortunately Joe had his cell phone out, so we got some footage.
All right, what do we got here, Lukey?
Got ourselves a nice snook.
Heck yeah, right where it's supposed to be.
The snook came up and
It's the third snook. Solid one, dude.
got super light line on. Nice fish.
Here we go, baby.
Heck yeah. Alright, so that snook frayed up my line pretty bad. I just have 15-pound mono. I wasn't planning on snook. I was actually,
What is that?
this was my setup for
That's a little shark.
a little shark up there.
Let's see if I can get him.
This is my setup for trout, and fortunately this mono held up. Oh, you see that shark finning? Yeah. Let's see if Joe can get him. He's spinning. Oh! Oh! Can you see what kind that is? Is that a bonnet head or?
Tough to tell.
Actually, instead of watching, let me finish this knot, and I'm gonna throw a cast at him. See if he'll hit the turd Ferguson too. Nope, didn't want any part of it. Well, we got some life here. This is nice.
We ended up seeing a few sharks, and they looked like little small bull sharks, but whatever they were, they did not want any part of our lure, so we continued fishing down the shoreline. This is still smart spot number 1, where Joe got another fish.
Oh, there we are. A trout or snook?
Lukey.
All right, Joe's on. Tailless 2.0. I thought I had a hit, and turns out it was just the bottom. See what we got, little fella.
Straight retrieving fast.
You're liking the nub, huh? Just a little bit.
Here's another example of the importance of keeping your eyes peeled. Instead of looking at Joe's tiny snook, I was keeping my eyes peeled for fish.
Kind of looks like a fish right on that bar. Oh, yep. Oh man, it went and slammed it. Oh, let's see if I'll hit it again.
I see him.
Oh, he's following it. He's following it. He's, oh. See if he gets the nub. She should see it.
Oh.
I totally fumbled on him.
That was the end of the first spot that was shown in Smart Fishing Spots. It was great. We fished it for about an hour and a half, had a lot of action, and so now time to move to spot number 2.
All right, so we're just pulling up to spot number 2. We have some mangroves. They're kind of shooting out a little bit. Yep, there's a good sign. We got a crane or a heron, something, whatever that bird is, flying out of there. But nice little cove that's on the back side of this.
A
this is
duck.
A duck. This is the front side. We have the wind blowing up on it, so I'm assuming this will probably have advantage, but we'll fish our way around the bend. Joe's throwing 2.0, I'm throwing the tweaker. And let's see if we can get some action. Spot 1 was fun. We got a decent amount of fish, but we're looking for the redfish to complete the slam right now, or a big trout.
This ended up being a very quick stop because there was a boat right around the corner, and so we just picked up, moved, and going on to spot number 3.
All right, so here's our mark. We're pulling up the spot. We're pulling up winds, and this is it right here. Let's see what the game plan says for it right now. Yeah, pretty cool. You can do all this on the water if you need help. So rigging, so it's 1 to 4 feet deep. Prawn USA paddle tail. All right, we're gonna give this a whirl.
This one had a slow start where the first section, there wasn't much life, so we basically were moving pretty quick, and this is 20 minutes into it when we've started seeing some life. Some jacks started schooling, and now is when we started slowing down to try to pick off some fish.
It's mackerel or something.
Something's feeding right. Oh man, there's a bunch of fish right here. That was schooling like jacks. We got them. See what the heck this thing is. Yeah, little jacks. Double, jack and a lady.
Yeah, and so in this section of the spot, it was loaded with fish, but it was jacks and ladyfish were just so aggressive. As I was releasing that jack, Joe had on another ladyfish, and it was just a lot of action.
There's probably some trout down there too, but so many ladyfish and jacks, it's hard to get anything else.
Since those jacks and ladyfish were so aggressive, just a little bit off the shoreline, I decided, okay, let me just start skipping under the bushes. Typically, that's going to be snook and redfish territory. Jacks and ladyfish are typically out in the open, and sure enough, fish on.
There we are. There's a little snook. Skipping the little prawn junior up around the structure. All right. Oh, quick release. Yeah, up in here in the shade with all the structure, there's jacks on the deep side and snook up along these trees. Should be some redfish in there too. Oop, there we are. 2 in a row. Oh, this might be a jack. Ah, dang.
Friends with him.
Yep. The jacks are even getting near the trees here. Alright, these guys sure do fight hard for their size.
One rule we have for mangroves is if you don't get caught every once in a while, you're not casting close enough. Here is us. This is one of several times in the bushes. And actually a benefit of doing this is when you do have to get up close to the trees, you actually see what's under the mangroves. So every time we got up close, we were spooking out some big snook and even saw a really nice redfish. And they just simply were holding too far back there to actually reach. This final catch of spot number 3 is from Joe. We got a good cast up right on the point and just a couple twitches and fish on.
There we go.
Nice. So snook.
Right on the point, we're supposed to be. Yep.
Snook. Still the 2.0.
Yep.
Since spot number 2 was so quick, we actually had more time on the schedule. This is just a morning trip. We had to be off the water before noon. We went back to number 1. We went back to the first spot where we saw just a lot of life. And fortunately we did because it was a great time. We had a lot more action.
Oh, there we are. Nice. Nice. I think it's a trout. Or is that a snook? Oh. And I thought that was a big trout. Little snook. Joe's stuck on a branch. Oh, jeez. I'm dealing with the snook here, and Joe's got us in the trees.
Fortunately, we were able to recover Joe's lure to get back to some fun fishing.
Fish on.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice work.
Well, when you make casts like that, Luke, you kind of deserve to catch a nice fish.
Like another snook.
Buddy. Yep.
A little bit bigger. Yeah, so what we're finding is working is we're basically skipping these soft plastics up under the trees. These snook are hanging right in the shade. Basically give it the shade, give it some twitches. Once it's about 5 feet out of the shade, we really don't get anything, so we just reel it up and go on for the next one. And then rinse and repeat. Ooh, big mud boil right there. That was a good fish. So that one was probably a big trout. Like the trout will usually be on the flats. I need to start hitting more of the flat. That was a very good looking mud boil. All right, since I saw that nice mud boil away from the trees, I'm gonna throw this it's a new color for the flea flicker. This is my favorite suspending plug. This will help attract a little bit more attention. Hopefully you can connect with one of these trout. There have to be some big trout up here. There were all sorts of big mullet on this flat this morning. When there's big mullet on a big flat like this, there's almost always going to be trout in there too.
I made a few casts out in the open water, unfortunately did not get any action, so I pivoted and just made a cast up near the trees, and the snook absolutely loved it.
All right, so switch to the flea flicker, and they are digging it. Granted, little micros, but as far as catch percentage, this thing is doing great. Snook hammered it.
So here's the very next cast, and what I was doing is I was getting up in the shade and just doing it real slow, right? Some twitches, keep it slow, and then once I got about 5 feet out, I would do a fast retrieve in. It has a nice little wobble, so even that fast retrieve was getting some strikes. Here's one.
So that one, I was way out of the trees, and that thing came up and smacked. Is this a cuda? Yeah, that's a barracuda. Not expecting this. Pretty cool catch. I better get some pliers for this guy. Holy cow. There's 6 big snook. They just spooked off, but like, they're all studs.
They're all out here?
Yeah, see there's some of this big mud boil from them.
We should be fishing this flat. Before I had that big fish on. See multiple now.
See that? Yeah. Oh, another one right there. See him?
Yeah. Saw that bait flicker?
Yeah. Golly. So we just pulled up to the ramp. It's a little past noon, and here's all the gear that we use. So this section's Joe's, and this was mine. And I usually don't take this many rods, but we just didn't have much time on the water, and I didn't want to spend time rigging. So this is what Joe caught most of his with, and it's the 2.0 rigged on the Haas Helix hook.
Slam shady, baby.
Slam shady color, and this is actually one of our prototype rods when we were designing the slot machine. And then he has the Exist reel, 25, or maybe it's a 3000. But that's a very nice reel. This is what he caught the last trout with, and this went to some deeper water. I actually didn't have the GoPro running, but this was the same lure on a jig head for deeper water. And now we have the slam stick with the Otis 2500. This one he didn't really use much, so we'll skip that one. That's the looks like the original slot machine. Here's what I started with. This has that skinny lipper, the XL, the big one, and this is a medium heavy slot machine. These aren't out yet. They'll be out soon, and that is really nice for throwing the bigger baits like this. And I have the 2500 BG with 15-pound braid. All these have 10-pound braid. This is the only one that has 15. This was my lightweight setup. This is 8-pound braid. This is the Otis 2500. We have the slam stick medium light. I was throwing the Prawn Junior. This got some action. It ended up getting stuck in a mangrove, so I lost my my lure, and this is what I caught most of my fish with. The lure is the Tweaker in the Turd Ferguson color. That has been my favorite, my most trusted of all, and I have it on the Haas Helix 3/0 1/16 ounce weight. This thing is just great for the shallow water. The rod is Slot Machine, my personal favorite, and then we have I love this reel. This is the Otis 2500 with some 10-pound J-braid, and this thing was handling great. And then here's a prototype that I'm working on, and this ended up doing a really good job. It's called the Flea Flicker. This is a lure that we've had for a bit, but this is a new paint job. You can see it looks just like a mullet, and I pulled this out at the end, and it got a lot of good action. I was really impressed with it, so very much looking forward to bringing this to the market. It'll probably be here around the summer. And as far as the rod, again, another Slot Machine, and then this is a reel that I'm testing too, and this thing is awesome. It's called the Soul MQ. It's like 5.6 ounces. It's super light. I have 10-pound braid on it, and as far as just overall combos, this one is definitely my personal favorite. That's it for the overall report. If you have any questions at all about what we did or what we're using, you can just leave the comment down below. And for you Insider Club members, to see the Insider report where I did the pre-trip plan, I pointed out all the spots that we fished, and I showed the game plan details. If you want to see that, it'll be on the Insider Report version of this post, and it should be either down below, the video will be there, or there'll be a link down below. And if you're not yet a member, I highly recommend giving it a try. We have software that'll literally help you find the fish. That's really the spots that we fished today. We fished 3 of the spots, and all the action you saw occurred in the spots number 1. And also that software actually explains what lures to use, and the fish we caught were with those lures. So if you want to give this software a try, click down below, check out the club. There's a 100% satisfaction guarantee that you'll catch more fish while saving money on all the tackle you need. As far as saving money, all that tackle we just mentioned, insiders get great discounts on all that. Thank you so much for your time and watching. Hope to see you again soon.